Wild Wild West? TayDZ.
I assume there's a lot of bodies out there.
Tay, this is a slam. I throw to you. What's it like in the Wild Wild West?
I assume it's a lot of people laying about, lots of desert. Nothing sweet about it, though.
You didn't say Tay. You're done? Okay.
Oh, my bad. TayDZ.
Or you could say Bellz. What's it like in the Wild Wild West? And then I would know, but.
Oh, you know what? Let's try it. Hold on.
TayDZ, what's it like in the Wild Wild West?
It's sandy, but there's no beaches. TayDZ. Bellz. What's it like in the Wild Wild West?
The Wild Wild West is not like the fantasies that Kanye West rapped the black ghettos would be. They are absolutely dead and desperate. They are the remnants of so many violent protests. It's nothing but cement and dirt and no tumbleweeds, not even the plastic bags that roll in the air as the modern day tumbleweed. No, it's just trash on the ground. It's just dry cornrows. It's just freeform dreadlocks, but no oil. It's places and odd spots that smell like pee, and you just hope you don't walk across any sort of open feces. Or how about this? People dealing drugs open-handedly. Yes, the decency or lack thereof in front of me, not to give the courtesy to hide such things. I'd rather you be discreet and hide your needles and such things in the bushes, please. But this is the Wild Wild West, where there is no etiquette. There are no rules, and there are people just out here moving reckless, standing, looking for something to do in the way for the sake of it, because that's just what people in the Wild Wild West do. Bellz.
See, I feel like an outlaw in this restless land right now. I feel like I'm the John Wayne-esque loner wandering the deserts of the lands of the Wild Wild West, trying to figure out why are they trying to include me on this. I am the wanderer. I am the lonely man. I am he who goes from town to town, meeting new people, but never getting to know them. I am, of course, the rambling traveler, the man who goes around, travels about, solves a problem, and moves on to the next one. And ladies and gentlemen, I am the wanderer in this realm of poetry. I am merely here in Bellz's town right now. And she at this moment is the sheriff trying to round me up, because she just put out that big old long lasso right there, trying to choke me out with her poem, with her rhymes. She said this town ain't big enough for the two of us, and decided to put me in a chokehold. TayDZ.
Desperado, I am not. I work for a living. Please don't knock on my window. Please don't put your hand out. Please don't shake a cup or beg me for money. Oh my goodness. If I were an outlaw, I can tell you what I'd look like. I would be the same as me. Hair slicked back and lip gloss every day. Earrings. Can't leave the house without these. I've never lived in the Wild Wild West, and I can't pretend that I would know how to even dress. But I'm going to give it a chance when I'm rolling through Friday, 7 p.m., 95 degrees. I ain't that reckless. Not like the desperados looking at me. Hey, Bellz.
The desperados eyeing you up and down. I guess they trying to invade your town. I think they're trying to go ahead and see if they can get a piece of Sheriff K. The bells toll for thee in the town square because K is trying to fire off her bullets. Unfortunately, I'm the only wrangler in these parts, brave enough to step up. And she's already fired 1 shot, 2 shot into me. I'm standing on my 2 legs right now, and I'm staring her down. I say, is that all you got, TayDZ?
Her. She. You think that is me? You know my name. You read it on the wanted poster with the picture posted. I'm not a criminal. No. I have no schemes. No. I'm honest. But I must finish this poem. TayDZ. This has been Bellz on Poetry Slam. Whee! You're listening to Poetry Slam with Bellz
and TayDZ.
Yes. So this is the week where Napoleon B. Might is not in. However, he will be back next week. Hopefully. So today, I read that store associates must wear body cams in stores like Marshalls, TJ Maxx, and Home Goods now because the stealing has become so rampant across the nation at those stores that they want their employees to wear body cams, like surveillance equipment, on their bodies to help deter thieves. What do you think about this?
Who's that gonna stop?
Well, if there's any suspicion that the employees are in on it, then I guess the body cam is going to at least stop the employees from stealing. Or, worst case scenario, it's going to embarrass them because they may run in the bathroom and forget it's on and record themselves in there. But
I feel like if I'm stealing from a I'm stealing from a TJ Maxx. If I'm that desperate to steal from a TJ Maxx, and you put a body cam on me, and there's no like threat of force or anything, that's not gonna stop me.
I mean, store associates aren't already charged with the responsibility of having to go after thieves. Like, that's why they have security in those stores. It's like now you want all of your employees to be security officers or something. But I think the idea is that the sight of the camera on the person is going to discourage people from stealing. But my thought is there are already cameras in the store, and that's not stopping anybody.
What to say? That's not stopping me at all. I'm still.
So you feel?
If I'm already committed to stealing from a TJ Maxx, I'm gonna do it regardless. You know, when police have body cams, it's because they can put me in prison. What's a TJ Maxx associate gonna do?
Well, the associate isn't expected to do anything except wear the camera. I think it's unfair to the employees because these are already people who make a minimum wage. And when you work in a retail store, I haven't ever worked in a retail store, but through talking to friends, it can be a very tiring job. You're on your feet a lot. You have to deal with the public. And it's one of those things where it's a role where there's just a lot of things that you have to do. Like you have to stock the racks. You have to work the cash register. You have to put this back. You have to put that back. There's always something to do in the store. So
Mhm.
it's a job where you don't really have a lot of downtime, even though it seems like you would because you're in the store all day. You don't. So it's like you're adding another thing to their already long task list, in a role where they're not paid enough. I mean, nobody's paid enough, but I'm saying this is a minimum wage job. Like, you're not increasing their pay, but you want them to do something else. You want them to take on a new responsibility. And that's not fair.
Not at all. That's one of those things where, people really want you to do twice as much work for the same pay. Where's security guards at? Like, that should be their job to put on a body cam if y'all losing this much money from a TJ Maxx.
So on the Gadgets subreddit, the post is workers at TJ Maxx and Marshalls are wearing police-like body cameras. Here's how it's going. And one person claims they're a key carrier at TJ Maxx in Kentucky. And they said their loss prevention is a joke. And to not say anything if they catch someone stealing because they may get aggressive with us. I think that's most stores. Like, you're not supposed to pursue a thief. Like, and personally, I don't think you should want to do that. Like, if the store's merchandise is compromised, it's not worth compromising your person.
Not at all.
The only authorized person to stop a shoplifter that comes to our store for 8 hours. Comes to our store for 8 hours every 2 months. So they're talking about their personal store, and they're saying they don't have a consistent loss prevention officer. But I don't know how many TJ Maxxes that is across the country, but I think they should do better with improving loss prevention officers or other protocols.
Honestly, at the end of the day, you can't stop stealing, But I guess you can try to mitigate it, but even then, it's like, if you catch someone stealing from the store, at that point, it just is what it is. These stores get insurance.
Employees feel like
when things.
Someone quoted the article, employees feel like they are under surveillance. That's another thing. I feel like you're violating the employee's privacy. Once again, like, what if you have to run to the bathroom and you forget you have the camera with you?
Right, really. It's weird. There's no point to it. There's legitimately no point to this. Like, honestly. These associates aren't stopping anyone. It's just making them more uncomfortable.
Well, one more thing. Someone commented their perspective, which is these companies will all collectively decide to stop using those cameras when a large lawsuit payout for incidental voyeurism on a customer or an employee's footage being exposed in a private area like a bathroom happens, and then also gets broadcasted all over national media. I mean, that seems about right. I mean, I would assume... Actually, I'm not even assuming this. I'm thinking they're just going to put the body cams on people. They're not going to give them any training. Like, some people think it's not to stop shoplifting. It's to monitor what their employees are doing. They want to make sure the employees aren't stealing, because if you're wearing a camera, it would be too foolish to steal.
Right. There's you're not gonna be. I don't know. It seems very slightly dystopian. It seems slightly dystopian. I don't need my store clerks with body cams, and then they're going, "Hello, yes, thank you. Welcome to TJ Maxx. Anything you say or do is being recorded." You already got security cameras all over the store in general.
Do you see this inspiring a Black Mirror episode?
I feel like they've already made one like this. They probably already did.
I don't remember, but I haven't seen Black Mirror in a while. I do want to share this poem with you called Quitting as a Habit. So let me just get you out the way. Okay, quitting is a habit. Oh, wait, I want you on the screen. Come back. I saw you being smart. There we go. We can see your reaction. But you're going to be muted. Okay. Quitting is a habit. Don't gotta have it. Walk in the room like, girl, what's happening? Up against the clock. Whew, help my time management. This just in. Look, it's the manager tying me up for minute mishandling. Deadline walking until I finish it. My sink is free of dirty dishes. Stomp, stomp, stomp into the weekend. We are dream chasing, whatever it takes. Quitting ain't the passion. K Bellz.
Okay. So, look at you being watched by the manager.
He walked in.
I
It up.
mean, he thought you was cutting up, so he had to come in and see. Or she could be she, and she
He needs
thought
to
you.
mind his business. Send an email. Don't walk up.
Nah, that's how they keep
That's a good time to use those muscles.
that's how they keep an eye on you. Email is not real time. He need to see what you doing in real time.
You email like text. Ding, 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 ding.
You know, if you email like instant messenger, that's a problem.
I feel like if you email like instant messenger, you're over 40.
I did that once as a really little kid. Never again.
So, this poem was inspired by work and, the pressure of a deadline and my time management being probably a 5 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to ask you, TayDZ,
Mm-hmm.
when is it okay to quit?
Like from your job?
No, just on principle. Because the poem is called Quitting is a Habit. And I'm a firm believer in whenever you do something like once, you give yourself permission to do it again. Because you gave yourself permission to do it the first time. And when you do something over and over, it's become a habit. You can make quitting a habit. Mm-hmm. Like quitting jobs before you get another one. Or just quitting jobs, period. Like, it can be positive things, of course, like working out. That's a habit. But the thing about quitting is I feel it is looked down upon. It's like, you gave up. It's this thing of, what could have been. Or sometimes people get stuck. They stop trying and they quit and they're just doing something else. And it's like either that thing was unfinished or they just haven't gotten back to it yet, whatever. So when is it okay to quit? When is it okay to quit?
It is okay to quit when you have exhausted every single avenue of action that you can take towards something and it just isn't working out. If you quit too, there's a science to it. If you quit too early, you'll never know if you could have made it work or not. But if you quit too late, your mental health will probably take a hit from that, because you kind of have to find that sweet spot of quitting. Because there is a sweet spot of quitting. It exists. And quitting is just one of those things where it's not inherently bad. It's not. You just have to know when to do it, and you have to know when you have done everything within your power. There's no shame in saying, I'm out.
See, if you quit once, it becomes a habit. Never quit.
Yeah, and he's a degenerate gambler because of it. I'm just saying. I'm not going to take don't quit advice from a degenerate gambler. So
you're saying there are two extremes, and you have to, I believe you're allowed to stop something and not call it quitting. I think quitting is just that. You give up. And I think stopping is different, because when you stop something, you come to a more calculated conclusion. You bring it to a conclusion. I feel like a quit is like you have left loose ends. You just whoosh, you're gone. You know, like you've left a mess. But if you stop something, you think, okay, this is just as far as I'm going to take this. I cannot build on this anymore, or it is not worth my time to build on this anymore. I have to take the skills I've gotten from here, the resources I've gathered from here, and I have to take it somewhere else. I have to move from this spot to get to where I'm really going. So in that situation, I wouldn't consider that quitting. I would just consider that stopping one thing to move on to another thing. But it depends on your perspective. Like, it really depends on your end goal. You know, like if you decided, oh, I want to be a doctor, and then you quit going to medical school. Okay, you've given up on being a doctor. You can't become a medical doctor without going to medical school. You're not allowed. So, but that may not be a bad thing if you just simply changed your mind to do something else. Or it could be a bad thing if you don't ever reach your potential at doing something else that would fulfill you. Because I guess the idea in that example is you thought being a doctor would be fulfilling. That was what you wanted to do. But if you still haven't answered the question of, you know, what do I want to do, and you're not doing anything to find the answer, then you have given up on finding a purpose or fulfilling your purpose. So, I think it's okay to quit when you have. Well, I don't think it's ever okay to quit. I don't think you should ever give up on anything. I think it's okay to stop doing something or change your mind, in the context that you're still going for your macro goal.
See, for me, it's a matter of I don't think quitting is a bad word. So I'll use the term quit. Like, I don't think it's a bad word inherently. I think the situation for it matters. I think quitting can be good when you realize that enough is enough. You know, like, even the term quiet quitting, to me, not a bad term. Because with quiet quitting, you essentially are so done, but you still want to work within the rules of society and the rules of people. So you try to. So basically, it's almost like being passive aggressive with, like, you know, with your insubordination, but it's towards a person or an institution that, quite frankly, it wasn't treating you right to begin with. So I even give them that level of respect, you know? So, you know, I think quitting is fine when the situation and your previous actions lead you to that, you know? If, I don't know, you cannot fail unless you quit. Yeah, see, I feel like everyone has, like, their you know, their t-shirt, you know, poster on a wall, quotable. Once you learn to quit becomes a habit. Oh, I thought Michael Jordan made that quote. Ooh.
I guess he got it from Vince Lombardi.
Apparently so. I'm sure Vince Lombardi got it from his grandpa. But anyway, it's like people have their little t-shirt, you know, poster on the wall, quotables about quitting, but they don't realize that there's a lot of people out here who keep doing more and more and more and more and more and more and more, and absolutely just don't know when to quit. You know, there is such a thing as they don't know when to quit, and it is not always positive. So, you know, speaking of quitting, let's talk about Hollywood.
We're quitting Hollywood before we enter. I'm kidding. I have to get to Hollywood.
if you want to. I mean, we're indie producers out here at this point. You gotta, when you go to Hollywood, you have to change. You have to shift it to your image. You can't conform to Hollywood's image.
Indie is going Hollywood, and Hollywood is going indie. So, we have to go to traditional Hollywood, and then we have to construct our own Hollywood. We have to construct indie.
All right, cool. All right, but
we have a lot of work to do. Whew.
Eat healthy, and I will too, and we'll stay on this earth long enough to do what we need to get done.
I had a soda 2 hours ago.
All right, so I guess we're just kind of we'll work on it tomorrow.
I'm also a believer in there is no expiration date on doing the right thing. So
you're right. My New Year's resolutions can wait till next year. Play my music.
Well, that doesn't imply that your resolutions are the right thing. Like you may have resolved to do the wrong things.
Play my music, hey Bellz.
Poetry news.
All right. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take a rendition. Hello. I'm TayDZ with Poetry News. Did you go see a movie in the last few weeks? No. Whose segment is this? Thank you. Anyway, did you go see a movie in the last few weeks? I know I did. I went to go see Furiosa. Actually, Bellz and I went to go see Furiosa. Bellz said she liked it. Well, I didn't bring you back. I just mentioned your name. Wait a minute now. I said Furiosa's name. I don't see her coming up on this screen. Wait a minute now. So we saw the movie. What was her name? Anya Taylor Joy, I think is what her name is. She played the young Furiosa.
Yeah. That's her name.
We both felt it was a pretty fun movie, you know. We both had a lot of time. I mean, I had a lot of fun, honestly. And yet, it feels like a lot of the world is not on our side on this. Furiosa didn't do as well in the box office as they hoped it would. According to Variety, the film underperformed in the box office between Friday and Sunday, in its debut. 25.6 million and an estimated 31 mil through Memorial Day on Monday. It was expected to rule the box office, but instead it was in a shocking close race for first place with Sony's animated The Garfield movie, collecting 24.8 million.
What?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I thought we forgot about I forgot about Garfield. Okay.
And
a Garfield movie came out when I was a kid. What the heck?
Hey, Garfield's one of those things that just comes out, you know? It's one of those perpetual series that just isn't really going to end. Like TMNT and Transformers and, Power Rangers. It just doesn't end, you know?
They're so freaking desperate.
Well, we haven't had a Garfield movie release in like 2 decades at this point. They had a
movie, not the new one, but the one from like 20 years ago.
Yeah,
I watched that over and over as a kid. I thought that was such a movie.
They said so. Furiosa even didn't do well internationally. The film cost $168 million to produce, and that's not including the big old press tour. And right now, its worldwide tally is only $58.9 million. This movie has not made its budget back. Not even close yet.
People aren't going to a movie theater like that. They feel like releasing something only in theaters is somehow going to drive people to the theaters. It's a thing of, you can't release big movies via streaming and big movies via theaters. Like, it's like they're trying to use a prediction system of, oh, because this is a huge successful franchise movie, let's bar this to theaters and people will go see it. Okay, people are waiting for Furiosa to be on streaming. They're thinking, oh, in the next 2 weeks it's going to be on Disney Plus or wherever. So you can't have it both ways. Like, at least when the DVD system was in full existence, you had to wait like a month, 2 months. You had to wait for it to get out of theaters.
Not even a month. You had to. I think a movie would be.
It depends on how well the movie did. Like, if it was doing really good in theaters, you had to wait for your DVD.
I would say really good blockbusters would probably be in the movies, like in the theaters, for like 3 months. Then you have to wait an extra month, and then it'd be on the DVD market, and then it'd be on like the premium cable market.
Yeah.
And then like 2 years, you might see it on FX and basic cable.
Right. Like, there were phases to it, but streaming has just cut all of that out. Like, they're not even making DVDs anymore. Like, physical media is on its deathbed. So it's like, you cannot hold this expectation that, okay, we have a blockbuster movie ready to come out, and if it's only in theaters, people are gonna wait that 2-3 weeks, not even a month. That's how people are thinking about this. They're thinking, oh, in a couple weeks, I'm going to get it on a service I already pay for every month. People are not into going to the movies like that because they don't even have to buy something. They don't even have to buy the piece of media anymore. They are subscribed on a monthly basis to get this. So for them, it doesn't make sense to go through the effort. It's a waste of money. Unless you want to go out, which is the charm of going to the movie theaters, going out with your friend or your family, something to do. But the way that film distribution is set up now, you can't put that expectation on the consumer anymore because it's not enough payoff for the consumer. So to me, I don't think it's such a thing that Furiosa was not a good enough movie to be a summer blockbuster. I think people are just not as responsive to seeing things in theaters anymore.
I remember, so from the article, by the way, another reason they stated the movie didn't do well was because Mad Max as a franchise has a very old audience.
Yeah.
The target where Warner Brothers hopes to target younger people. See, the thing with Mad Max, that Mad Max was I wouldn't say that in its heyday, it was the biggest blockbuster out there. In an era with like Star Wars and Indiana Jones and Tron and, all the slasher movies and Aliens and Predators and all that, Mad Max was seen as, it was kind of like a cult classic series, not so much in the vein of like a Flash Gordon, but it wasn't on par with like an E.T. or Star Wars. It wasn't quite Spielberg level. And so
the first Mad Max came out in 1979. Just so we have an idea of the timeline.
Yeah, and then the last one before Fury Road was Beyond Thunderdome, and that came out like in 83, 84. So you're talking about like this 5 to 6 year period where they were making these Mad Max films, and the series was popular amongst its fans. And Mad Max is like a cinephile's favorite action series.
Oh yeah.
Some person will say, I love Star Wars. They'll say, I love Mad Max and Baby Driver.
Baby Driver, really?
Baby Driver was really popular amongst like cinephiles.
I mean, it was a good movie, but
like, it's one of those things where they thought that Anya Taylor-Joy could bring in like another audience. Like, they thought Furiosa was such a powerful woman, like woman action hero icon, that they could build a movie off of her and bring in like a large newer audience. But even Fury Road didn't bring in that much of a larger audience. It's just that the movie was so good, it was able to stand on its own two legs amongst like Oscar nominees. You know, like that's the thing though. You know, Mad Max just isn't that popular for series. Also, apparently, so Hollywood has this thing now where they're kind of beginning to realize that when you do prequels or reboots of popular series, but you don't bring in the original cast, they realize that these movies don't do as well, save, once again, even like Fury Road, which, mind you, was nominated for Oscars, but even then, its blockbuster stuff wasn't well received.
Right, people were very upset about them not using the actress from Fury Road in Furiosa. Like, they felt like the way they made use CGI on Anya in the younger version, I guess they're planning to use CGI transition to make her look like the main actress,
like Charlize Theron.
Yeah, I mean, they look very different. I don't know.
Different. Her eyes are way apart.
And this is how like the very first Mad Max looked. Like,
yeah, that's shoot. Was Clooney in the first one? I know Clooney was in I know Clooney was in the other two. I don't remember if Clooney is in the first one though.
I don't know either.
Yes, he is. Okay, yeah, that's Mel Gibson. Okay. Yeah. So, you know, but I think people understand that Clooney couldn't be Mad Max in Fury Road. Like, obviously, he's too old. You know, I guess you could have told a story about an older Mad Max, but also Mel Gibson isn't very well loved in Hollywood nowadays, so that probably wasn't going to happen regardless. And Charlize Theron is going to play a young Furiosa. If you're getting a prequel, I feel like if they had made like a sequel with just Furiosa, maybe that would have did better. I don't know. I have no clue. So Variety brought up the fact that
before you get to that, I feel like the prequel was necessary because the prequel ends where the story of Mad Max Fury Road starts. Like, now we know why Furiosa had Morton, whatever his name is,
Morton Jones. Yeah.
Him. Why she had his wives in the gas tank.
Mm-hmm.
So now the next part should be a sequel to Mad Max because now we have the A, the B.
If we get that. If we get it. They're going to probably take another decade to make that, though, for real. But yeah, like, they brought up the fact, so Variety brought up the fact that whoever made that Hunger Games prequel, what was it? The Snakes and Songbirds prequel. I think they came out like last year, the year before, and they didn't have any of the previous cast in it. There was no Jennifer Lawrence whatsoever. But the movie's budget was not as big as the other Hunger Games films. And so because his budget wasn't as big, it was able to actually make back its money and more, making it a box office success. Whereas Warner Brothers just sort of gave a big budget to Furiosa, and then just left, was like, yeah, this is going to do great, guys, because it's Furiosa, and made nothing. And here's the problem, is that I do not like David Zaslav as an executive, and I feel he's going to use this. He's going to use this to be malicious with with other movies. But as for the summer blockbuster, in general, this was the lowest Memorial Day weekend film box office showing in like 30 years apparently. And they're expecting when Summer Fleet kicks in, we're gonna get like Inside Out 2, Despicable Me 4, Deadpool and Wolverine, the only Marvel movie we're getting this year. Like, we're gonna get like tentpole franchises for these studios in the summer. And it isn't like the summer blockbuster is dead. We even saw Top Gun make a lot of money like a few years ago, if you remember that. So
the thing with the summer blockbuster is it just seems like so much more of a big. It's just a bigger guess now.
Mm-hmm.
They're guessing that their tentpole movies are going to be big enough and draw enough audience to get that blockbuster effect. I don't know what sort of numbers a movie has to do. I guess it has to make profit from the box office standpoint. I mean, I think the numbers Furiosa did, I think you already said they were way below the amount they spent. But Steven Spielberg started the summer blockbuster in 1975 when he released Jaws. So that is considered the first summer blockbuster, but that was over 40 years ago.
That was before home media, by the way.
That was before home media, and we just said that the first Mad Max came out in 1979, even though it kind of had its cult following. But this was during an era when people were going to the theater. And Jaws, a part of what classified it as that first summer blockbuster is people queued up around the block to see the movie, and it became the first film to earn $100 million at the box office. So you have to have people going to the theater. Like, you have to drive people to the theater. People don't have a reason to leave home or not to wait for it to get out of theater. Yeah. And then it is just so crazy how far we've come just in the past 2 years. It's 2024 right now, but just in 2022, July of 2022, Vogue released the article, similar to a lot of other articles that were coming out 2 years ago, saying that that Jordan Peele's new movie Nope was the summer blockbuster. They were saying, there are articles saying, Nope, a new style of summer blockbuster. New style because it was a horror movie. So this was just 2 years ago. They were talking about Jordan Peele's movie as a blockbuster. But now we have news that they're not making DVDs at the rate that they were before. I mean, I don't know how much that affects it, but just so many more people are streaming now, I think. And unless you are an auteur, you have a name to go with, like, promoting your films, then I think it's harder to sell people on go see my movie,
Well, I think at the end of the day, like, we're gonna see how, once again, these tentpoles do.
Oh, sorry. I think another reason Jordan Peele's movie Nope was considered a blockbuster is I think it was not a big budget film. It may have been a mid-budget film.
Yeah.
So because Mad Max or Furiosa is big budget and it's not covering its big budget, that means it's not blockbuster numbers. But for Nope's budget, it was getting blockbuster numbers.
Yeah, like, Jordan Peele, he's going to get his views because at this point, we've kind of, after, Get Out, Get Out, Us? Yeah, Get Out, Us, and Nope.
Right.
Jordan Peele is like an established event now. Like,
also, the budget for Nope was $68 million, and in the box office, it made $172.3 million. So that's a blockbuster. Yeah.
He's an event now. Like, we will watch a Jordan Peele movie because he doesn't come out with a movie all the time. And when he does come out with a movie, it's very much a different experience from what we normally get from the film, from like a horror film. I'd say he's one of the few horror blockbuster makers out there nowadays. So kudos to him in that regard. And this year, once again, like, we're only getting one Marvel movie. I think Deadpool and Wolverine, which people have been looking forward to since like since Disney bought Fox in like, I think like 2018, I think is when they bought Fox. They bought Fox like years ago, and people have been looking forward to Deadpool.
2019.
Yeah, 2019. That was when it was finalized. And so this has been like 5-6 years in the making at this point. So people have been looking forward to this. It's the only Marvel film coming out this year. Like, MCU film, I mean. Like, it's the only MCU film coming out this year. We've had Marvel films this year, and they bombed. But like, they weren't like MCU films. They were like Sony Marvel films. We're going to get that new Venom movie, which critically is never good, but the Venom movies have been popular because they're like dumb fun.
I like the Venom movies. I don't know why I like them.
They're dumb fun. They're turn your brain off type of fun,
Yeah, they're not serious. I feel like we need more superhero movies or action movies like that, because I don't follow Marvel, but I feel because some of those movies are so big, they have like a task list that they have to hit. Like, this has to happen, this has to happen. But Venom, it doesn't have that feeling. It's like you're actually just experiencing the character in his world.
I think that's also, a lot of people don't like MCU films because they only, like you said, they're a task list, but also they're bad with like tone. Like, they'll try to be very serious, and like 2 minutes later, someone's like cracking a joke.
That's a part of the formula, and it's like, it comes across as inorganic.
Meanwhile, Venom kind of has already settled in like its really goofy comedy route at this point, and so you kind of understand. Like, Venom it's funny. I won't keep on this for too long, but it's funny because Venom is so weird. It should be a dark action film. Venom as a concept is a horror villain. He is a parasite who takes over your body. He completely reroutes. He feeds off of your hate and your anger and your negative feelings. And yet, in this film, he's going salsa dancing, and he cracks jokes, and he is basically the comic relief buddy. It's almost like a buddy cop film. So,
bad boys, what you gonna do? I feel if any movie, since Furiosa didn't do it, Bad Boys may be the blockbuster of the summer. It came out today.
Bad Boys is weird, but like, I agree. Bad Boys I need to look into Bad Boys more. Has it always been like a summer blockbuster? Like, is Bad Boys like a high grossing franchise, or does it just make enough?
I think it has been. So the first one came out in 95. It came out in April. So I don't think it's always been a summer blockbuster. I think they're doing that this year because it's been a successful franchise, and they have to be very selective with what they release nowadays. But the first one, the budget was $19 million in 95, and the box office was $141 million.
That's a blockbuster for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see how the second one did.
Yeah, because something has to justify it for sure.
So the second one had a budget of $130 million, and it made it made over, what is it, $270 million internationally. $273 million worldwide.
Bad Boys 3 had a budget of $90 million. Box office $426.5 million. So yeah, okay.
I'm excited for Bad Boys. I didn't even know it was coming back. I didn't know. Like, the first one's still my favorite. Like, that was the one I watched with my dad when I was a kid. I didn't even know it came out until 9 pounds, and I just looked it up. We had it on DVD, but
that's so funny. Like, the first film comes out in 95, then the second film comes out like in 2004, and then there's like a 15-year wait period. And then you get Bad Boys 3 just out the cut out of nowhere.
That's Will Smith for you. Like,
I know, right? And then
so like, in 10 more years, we're going to get I Am Legend 2. Thanks, Will. Before you even retire, you finally delivered on that one.
Shoot. If Wilson's going to keep doing sequels, are we going to get Pursuit of Happiness 2? Can we get a little check-in and see if our boy is doing well for himself? You know.
Oh, yeah. Get grown Hayden in there.
Give me Hancock 2. I'll take Hancock 2. Shoot.
I will too. Will Smith in the 2000s, he hit after hit.
He was putting out some hits. This man was in pursuit of his Oscar. Man.
Yeah. I think he lost to Denzel Washington when Pursuit of Happiness came out.
First time he lost it. When he was nominated for Ali, he lost to Denzel.
Oh.
When he was nominated for Pursuit of Happiness, he lost to Forrest Whitaker. So, hey.
That's black on black crime.
Yeah. Whenever Will gets nominated for Best Actor, a black man always takes it home.
And that's why he slapped Chris. So. But I did read that Will Smith is getting slapped harder than he's ever been slapped in Bad Boys. I thought we had left the slap in the past, but we're still joking. But I feel like Will Smith at this stage is masking.
He's masking?
Yeah.
Yes, he is. We've been known this. Okay. We've been telling you this. We've been telling everyone this. He's masking. This man's hurting on the inside for a lot of reasons.
Well, I don't know if this is true. There are always rumors about Will and Jada's marriage, but the rumor, or maybe it's the truth, I don't know. He's saying that, well, they are saying he is moving on. I don't believe that though, because I don't even see that headline right now. Right now, the headline about Will Smith is he's reacting to Jason Kelce's hygiene practice. Jason Kelce was on his podcast with Travis Kelce, and he was reacting to people saying Jason Kelce looks like he doesn't wash his legs or his feet. And Jason doubled down and says, what kind of maniac washes their feet? Like, he was saying he only washes his feet if there's something on them. And if you have this, it sounded to me like a conspiracy about Big Soap. He says there's, Big Soap wants you to believe you have to bathe every day and wash every single part of your body. No, you only have to wash the essential parts. And he's like, no, I don't touch my feet unless I clip my toenails. So Will Smith reacted to Jason Kelce hygiene.
No. Let me not agree with him. Because if I agree with him, I'm gonna join all those other little dirty little weirdos who don't wash their feet. Nah, but you don't have to bathe every day. We do that because as a society, we're just careful. Also, a lot of us live in like a temperate climate. So, when it's hot, it's hot. And you dirty little Negroes better clean yourselves. However, for the most part, you don't have to wash up every day. Factually, that is true. I'm not saying I would do that. I would clean every day. But some people don't have to. And that's okay. As long as they bathe every other day. Some people. So
don't implicate me. I bathe regularly. The Bad Boys star Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, they were in a segment called F With It or F Out of Here. So they responded F Out of Here. Martin Lawrence said that about Jason Kelce. Wash your feet, your nasty butt getting in the bed with dirty feet. Oh, with them nasty feet. Okay. And then Will said, because it's not the feet. You got to get in between the toes.
Right.
Yeah. It's about the crevices. And then, of course, many people on X agreed with Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, insisting, dude, wash your feet. Flip-flop feet hit different knowing this, Jason. You gone too hard. And then this is Jason Kelsey's, and he doubled down on his stance in another X post. And he said, all of you have been fed diabolical lies that washing every crevice of your bodies and hair all the time is somehow better or healthier. Any dermatologist not in bed with big soap will agree. Hot spots are all that is necessary and actually leads to cleaner, healthier skin.
A part of me can't tell. A part of me can't tell Jason's being tongue-in-cheek or not.
No, he was serious.
Because
he was arguing about this on like Travis. The way Travis is reacting to him is like, come on now. And Jason is like, Travis, don't act like you wash your feet because you don't. Like he was passionate about this.
Look, only reason why I wasn't entirely sure because at no point in my life have I ever heard anybody mention big soap. So
big soap.
I ain't at no point in my life ever heard the term big soap. You can't just put big in front of everything and make it seem evil. I'm sorry to tell you, I can't come in there and say, oh yeah, ooh, you afraid of
afraid of black people.
Are you afraid of big grease, the grease industry? You afraid of them? You afraid of big window shield wiper fluid? The window shield wiper fluid industry? You afraid of
big chemical.
Big. So stupid. Big mustard. The mustard making industry.
Big sauce, yeah.
Big sauce is crazy.
Well, I wash my feet, and I definitely disagree with Jason Kelsey. And I don't think big soap exists.
I don't think big soap exists. I mean, there are indeed hygiene companies, but they're shady for other reasons, but not for that. Clean your feet, bro. I need people to realize that it was only until the 1860s, not even probably the 1870s, when it was told to people, hey, that thing you do where you only bathe like once a month? Stop that.
That was over 200 years ago. I mean,
bruh, it should not be that close. It shouldn't be that close. We as a society should have known that beforehand. Actually, we as a society did know that beforehand. And you want to know who forgot about it? Them dirty Europeans forgot about it.
They didn't forget. They just didn't want to.
Because Romans had baths. Romans took regular baths. And then the dirty peasants were like, we can't afford water and soap. Sorry. That's too rich for our blood. The Pope said we didn't have to do that. Everybody else had clean running water. People in India had plumbing. And these European people were like, let's just dump our poo-poo out the window. It's fine, I guess. So the fact that it is only 200 years ago that we knew this, to me, is a travesty. We should have known this sooner. Let's not forget it. Please, clean your feet. Every crevice. If you don't know what kind of funky toe jam you might have growing in between them toes, please clean your feet. And that's poetry news. Okay, Bellz, is there anything else you want to discuss?
No, I don't want to discuss anything else. We had a great show. Thanks, TayDZ, for being on. Definitely subscribe to Poetry Slamm on social media. I'm I'm K-Bellz.
I'm TayDZ.
Good night, everybody.